hectic.
What is good, HN9ers? Esona here. It is a beautiful day in sunny Cape Town, and I am currently standing outside the newly built Zeitz Mocaa. Now, this is Africa's largest contemporary art museum, and round about now, I'm going to be chatting to someone about what actually makes this building so unique. So follow me. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Very well.
So good to have you here today. So let's talk about what the building was actually used for in the past.
So this was a grain silo building. It was built in the early 1920s, so it's coming up to its 100th anniversary in a few years' time. And it's a real piece of historic industria in the southern tip of Africa.
You guys repurposed the building. Let's talk about that process.
The main repurposing was to actually try and pay as much respect to the original building as possible. So to keep the tubes, to keep the silos, to keep the form of the original building as well. Old buildings have incredible power and incredible soul, and to be able to come up with a scheme that repurposes buildings from an industrial nature, which are not designed for human habitation, into something that people can enjoy, is an incredibly powerful thing to be able to do. Playing with an old building really gives you a great opportunity.
It sounds like a lot went into actually putting this building together. How long did everything actually take?
So the actual construction process was 3 years, from starts in April 2014 to when we finished in April 2017 with the opening of the museum then in September 2017. It took another 6 months to hang all the art.
Oh, wow.
So it was an extensive process, but before that it was about another 3 to 4 years of design that went into the process. So about 7 in total, 7 years in total.
So what actually inspired the design of the atrium?
It's styled on one of the original pieces of corn from the building. So the architects sent me a very odd email. They asked me to go and collect a piece of grain from the building, and then they digitally scanned that there and blew that up to the size of 10 stories and used that as the mold to carve the inside of the building out. It becomes the centerpiece for the building, the drama of the building, but also shows what the building was all about.
So Mark, what were some of the challenges with building this building?
I think the biggest challenge was forming the atrium itself, where we had to build a new building essentially inside the old building before we could then start to cut away the old building to create that shape. So there was a whole process of deconstruction before we could actually then commence with the construction.
So the museum has 80 galleries. How were these actually incorporated into the design?
There's 2 elements to the building. The white box galleries hang off that old space. So it's this interesting experience of being both inside a museum but also inside a silo building. And we also didn't want to create a space where the art would be competing with the silo building.
Yes.
So the white boxes are very, very simple, clean white walls, grey floors, grey ceilings, and the art then has the ability to just do what it needs to do. It's this great combination of experiences that you get as you walk through the building.
Why is it important to have spaces like this?
Being a platform for African artists and artists from the African diaspora to be able to show their art to the rest of the world and tell their stories from an African platform on an international scale is, I think, incredibly powerful.
Mark, thank you so much for chatting to us and taking time out. I'm sure that our viewers have learned so much from everything that you've shared with us today. But guys, I'm super amped to check out the museum inside, but definitely do keep watching if you would like to learn more about art curation.
Hectic.